Morning. What is up, Man Hour Nation? It is time for some live, raw, uncut NFL talk. Hope you guys are ready for a great show today. We're going to talk some Arizona Cardinals. We got to talk about them. A little bit of New York Football Giants? What? But first,
and now, Mike's thoughts.
As we start each and every show with things that have kind of like rubbed me the wrong way, kind of do this the wrong way, we have to think, like, what in the world are people thinking? What in the world are people legitimately thinking 9 times out of 10? When we sit back and we ponder thoughts, of course we ponder thoughts, right? We got to ponder those thoughts. We think, what are people thinking when they say this quarterback has a level to be an NFL starter, but he's just not our starter? This person has a level that can be really, really good, really, really great. He's just not our guy. Now, I understand that sometimes things just don't mix. Sometimes things just don't mesh, right? You could be dating a really awesome girl. She cooks, she cleans, she does whatever, right? She is just fantastic. But for whatever reason, things just don't mesh with you and her. Now, I get it. But NFL's a little bit different. A little bit different. You as a NFL head coach, you have to cater your team to what you have on the roster. So if Kyle Trask is better than Baker Mayfield, why don't you put him as a starter and kind of cater your system around to him? Because that will make you a great coach. It'll make you look like a genius. It would not make you look like a complete dumbass when you say that Kyle Trask could be a starter on any other team in the NFL but mine. So the Bucs offensive coordinator is coming out saying that he believes Kyle Trask has real starting level talent in the NFL. He believes he can be a starter on 90% of the teams in the NFL, just not the Bucs. My man, as I do love me some Baker Mayfield, when you do look at Baker Mayfield, could he be a starter on 90% of the teams in the league? Probably not. I could think of probably 5 teams off the top of my head that he would not start on. The Ravens, Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles, and probably the New York Football Jets and Dallas Cowboys. Hell, there's 6. That's 90% of the league right there. When we hear these things, like I'm so baffled by what people say. Like, why do you want me? Okay, let me take a step back. I do understand that you want to build confidence in your guy. I do understand that you want to make a possible trade be that more lucrative for the guy. I do understand that you could possibly be like, hey, you're our guy come week 5, but Jesus, I'm so baffled by this. I'm just like, do I want to hear fluff? Do I really want to hear the fluff? No, I don't. I don't want to hear the fluff. Shut up, move on, and cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
You don't want to be every time, no. I was would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that then. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're out the dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live, all 3 speakers go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhouse here with the Man Hour. Sure to head to manhour.co. Check out the merchandise page. Sure, check out the blog section as well. We got new stuff dropping each and every day over there, and the blog section is starting to get a lot more filled up in there. I'm tinkering on the drop page for the blogs there, so it should be a lot more easier to navigate. Hopefully by this afternoon, I will get that up and going and operational for you blog readers out there. But guys, it is Friday edition of manhourradio.com. Woo, it is time to some overreact or underreact to some things. We got to talk about the Cardinals. Are they officially tanking? Are the Cardinals are like, you know what, 2023, we don't have Kyler Murray, we don't have Larry Fitzgerald, we don't have Hollywood, or let's just get a first-round pick. Well, we will talk about that. Jeudy could miss up to several weeks. We got to talk about that. Trey Lance has to be traded? Are the New York Football Giants the best team in the NFC East? Deshaun Watson, a top 10 quarterback? All that and much, much more, guys, coming up here on the Man Hour. But first, if you have not done so already, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe with whatever platform you're listening to us on. Be sure to follow that platform. And if you're listening to us on Spotify or iHeartRadio, give us a ranking. Give us a fair ranking. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. And bada bing, bada boom, things will be magic over there. We do got polls happening right here on Facebook.com and YouTube.com. The poll is simple in question. It says, will the Cardinals win more than 4.5 games in 2023? So far, the consensus is no. The consensus is no across the board here. On YouTube and Facebook, nobody has voted for yes yet. I'm just calling a spade, I guess, right? But it is what it is. But it is time to get a little bit of Lee Blockness going on here and get on with some good news from across the league. We are in NFL preseason week 3, the final week of the NFL preseason, guys. We're what? About 14 days away from Chiefs versus Lions. Get excited, get hyped. There's going to be a lot of NFL cuts in the next several days. They got to cut down from 90 players to 53. There's going to be a lot of transactions that are happening. So be sure to follow us on Facebook for all the up-to-date news, guys. We will be dropping some of the big news out there. So if you guys are interested, definitely hit that bell icon and get the alerts every time we do post something. But as far as the lead block today, Bears quarterback Justin Fields will play in Saturday's preseason game versus the Buffalo Bills. However, no snap range has been discussed, but Coach Eberflus says it will be more than one quarter. Alrighty, Bears fans, how do you guys feel about this? Going into week 3, playing that final preseason game. I feel because I have at least 6 teams right here that are playing their starters on NFL week 3, but I feel like it is a complete opposite of, because we saw the game last night, the Steelers versus the Falcons. Falcons didn't play one of their starters. Steelers played their starters for damn near the whole first quarter. 5 drives, 5 touchdowns. Bears fans, how do you feel about Justin Fields starting on Saturday versus the Buffalo Bills? Are you excited about it? What do you want to see? Like, what are you expecting to see out of that? I'm just kind of curious. Let me know here. The Cleveland Browns have waived Kellen Mond and traded Josh Jacobs, making room for Dorian Thompson-Robinson as a second string. Mr. DTR himself, QB1 behind Tate Martell. Look at it. He's on there. Tate Martell's backup. But DTR has shocked us Me, he has shocked us this NFL preseason. When I saw him versus the Jets, I'm like, what? Who is this guy? Right? He kind of blew me out of the water, and I was like, man, they have a loaded quarterback room there with like Dobbs and Mond and like Watson. They're going to cut a really good quarterback, and my man is going to probably end up on a team somewhere. But the Browns have waived Kellen Mond, traded Dobbs to the Cardinals, and bada bing, bada boom, DTR is your number 2 guy. Watson, do not let him take your job because he will not give it back. He will not give it back. The Detroit Lions and Denzel Mims have agreed to an injury settlement, getting Denzel Mims on the waiver wire and is able to sign with any other team moving forward. Do you guys think Denzel Mims' career in the NFL is over? Because we saw what happened in New York. I thought he was going to have a breakout year with Zach Wilson and Robert Saleh and those boys. And hell, he didn't see the field till week 7? Reports are that he didn't even know the playbook. Was in Detroit for a week, and they're like, get out of here? I don't know. It is what it is. Green Bay Packers quarterback Jordan Love will start this weekend versus Seattle Seahawks. Ooh. Packers fans, how do you feel about this? Are we okay with our star franchise quarterback starting final preseason game? I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent about it. I don't care one way or the other. Speaking of starters, Jacksonville Jaguars starters will play at least 2 quarters on Saturday, including Trevor Lawrence, Doug Peterson says. He says, you got to spar before you can box. Jacksonville Jaguars, same question to you guys. How do you guys feel about your starters playing? I'm kind of torn a little bit. I'm kind of torn about it. Miami Dolphins starters will play a large number of stands versus the Jaguars, but less than a half, including Tua. Common theme. Starters are starting. Either your starters are playing a full half or they're not playing at all. 2 extreme opposites here, guys. 2 extreme opposites. Guys, let me know how you feel about your team. How do you feel about your team playing your starters or not playing your starters? I see both sides of it. Mike Tomlin said it best. It is difficult to box without sparring. Very, very, very true. Very true. But at the same time, it's difficult to win a lot of games when you don't have your when you don't have your studs, when you don't have your TJ Watt, when you don't have your Kenny Pickett. Chiefs are playing their starters too. I don't know. I'm very, very indifferent about it. Guys, there is an active poll here going on at Facebook.com and YouTube.com. Simply put, will the Cardinals win more than 4.5 games this season? The reason that we are asking if they will win more than 4.5 games this season is because yesterday, Thursday, August 24th, they kind of had a fire sale. They made 3 transactions that were kind of like, whoa, hold your horses. One of the shockings to me was Isaiah Simmons to the New York Football Giants, because they were moving Isaiah Simmons to strong safety. He was looking fairly good, looking comfortable, and they're like, get out of here. They traded him for a 7th round pick, and then they traded their offensive tackle to the Houston Texans for a 5th round pick. And then they bring in a quarterback by the name of Josh Dobbs. So the reports are coming out of Cardinals camp are that Colt McCoy will be quarterback 1 or cut from the Arizona Cardinals. Like I said, they did bring in Josh Dobbs to, I guess, be a backup to Clayton Tune if they decide to cut Colt McCoy. We will see. I mean, this weekend's got a lot of implications for the Arizona Cardinals moving forward. But I want to ask this question. Because of the fire sale on Thursday, we kind of believe the Cardinals are in complete take mode We're going to rebuild from the inside out, and bada bing, bada boom, we're going to have a championship caliber team in a couple seasons. So is it an overreaction that Kyler Murray could be traded during this fire sale? So when we think about this, guys, Kyler Murray historically plays well from September to November. For whatever reason, you can call it Call of Duty, you can call it just gaming issues, whatever. But from November on, he's not very good. Let's just call a spade a spade. He's not very good from November on. When the weather starts getting cold outside, his butthole puckers up like a little bit. Last December, he did tear his ACL. I would assume he is not going to play this season. I would assume that the Arizona Cardinals they want to see what they have on their team without Kyler Murray. So that is why they're probably going to cut Colt McCoy. That is probably why they're going to start Clayton Tune, and Josh Jacobs is there just as an emergency type of guy, right? So is it an overreaction that Kyler Murray could be traded? No, it is not an overreaction. It is not an overreaction because of the simple fact that Jonathan Gannon, this coaching staff, this front office is not married to Kyler Murray. They did not draft Kyler Murray. They did not bring Kyler Murray in. Kyler Murray hasn't even been there at training camp to learn the new offense. Yes, I know he's been standing on the sideline and watching, right? But let's just be honest. How much can a quarterback learn by watching? It's very, very difficult. So I posted this on Facebook just the other day. I'm like, could the Cardinals trade Kyler Murray? And people are like, oh, no, he's a franchise guy. He is this, he's that. And then I'm like, okay, if he's the franchise guy, why are they drafting a rookie quarterback in Clayton Tune? Yes, I know you can fill up the roster, whatever, but why waste a, was it, 4th or 5th round pick on a quarterback when you could have added depth to the offensive line? You could have been some linebacker help. Like, there's other ways they could have gone. The point of the matter is, it is not an overreaction that Kyler Murray could find himself on a new NFL team come 2024 NFL season. Yes, he did sign a big contract. However, has he lived up to that contract at all? Arizona Cardinals fans, just a couple years ago, you guys were at my throats. What, the Cardinals were like 11-0, 9-0, or whatever. Green Bay Packers come into town and smack that ass, and like, I'm like, hey, the cracks are there, guys. The Arizona Cardinals are not that good. And you guys are like, oh, they're Super Bowl bound, whatever. I'm like, they're going to be a first-round playoff loss team. Go back, check the film. I said this. I said the cracks in the team are there. They are showing. The rest of the season, they won like 2 games, got thumped in the first round of the playoffs. They have not been very good since. They haven't. And it all goes on Kyler Murray's shoulders. It all comes down to Kyler Murray. It is not an overreaction, guys. Kyler Murray could find himself on a new team come 2024. Now, when we think about it, what potential teams could be in a Kyler Murray running, right? What teams could possibly trade for the services of a Kyler Murray? I mean, obviously, I'm thinking straight off the top of the head of here because 2024 is a long ways away. We haven't even started 2023 season yet. But when we think of 2024 season, there are players out there that could possibly not be on rosters anymore. First thing comes to mind is Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is in a must-win situation right now in Dallas. Prove it to us, Dak Prescott. Prove it to us that your 8th year is going to be your best year. Tua. All indications are that Mike McDaniels is not totally sold on Tua. Like I said, he's not his guy, right? And then we look around the league at other potential teams. Seattle Seahawks could be needing a quarterback. We don't know what Geno Smith is going to do after this next year. Their backup at Drew Lock is not very good. Denver Broncos, what's going to happen with like Russ, right? Is Russ going to cook or is Russ going to burn the water? There are teams out there that could use the services of a Kyler Murray. Maybe that's what Kyler Murray needs to really catapult himself up to an MVP level. I do think Kyler Murray has a lot of raw talent. He has a lot of raw skill. It just needs to be honed a little bit. It needs to be brought in, kind of, sculpted out and like, hey, this is what you're going to do. And maybe moving on from the Arizona Cardinals is what's going to be best for Kyler Murray. Same thing as like Trey Lance. Maybe the best thing to do about Trey Lance is just to move on. Grass is greener sometimes on the other side. Take example, trying to think of a player that has Kirk Cousins, right? Kirk Cousins was kind of the beaten stick of the NFL when he was with the Commanders, and then he goes to the Vikings and, all is good. Drew Brees, there you go. Here's a perfect example. Drew Brees, they drafted Phillip Rivers, his second or third year with the Chargers, and he's going to be a backup, and he goes to New Orleans and wins the Super Bowl and an MVP, and just maybe sometimes the grass is greener on the other side. I think it might be better for Kyler Murray to move on. It is what it is, and hopefully he does that. If you guys have not done so already, please like and comment. Let me know that you are here. And, of course, subscribe to whatever platform that you're listening to us on, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, or a iHeartRadio. It is all out there. I do post out the podcast form. It's usually up by noon East Coast time, but sometimes internet connection is a little slow, so you got to bear with us here a little bit. But moving on. Next up here, Broncos wide receiver Jerry Jeudy was carted off yesterday with an apparent hamstring injury. After a MRI, it is said that he will miss several weeks with the hamstring injury and will probably miss week 1 and week 2. I just talked about this about a month ago. Everybody on the wide receiver corps for the Denver Broncos is getting injured. You get an injury, you get an injury, you get an injury, you get an injury. I feel like I'm Oprah over there. Everybody's getting injuries. But is it an overreaction that the Denver Broncos cannot lose Jerry Jeudy? The Denver Broncos wide receiver core has the biggest asterisk next to their names. They are players that are always like, what if? What if they had that quarterback? What if they had that offensive coordinator? What if they could do this? They have a good nucleus around them. Cortland Sutherland. They have Jerry Jeudy. I can't think of the tight end's name off the top of my head. But they have a good nucleus. Just 2 seasons ago now, right? 2022, when Russ came in, Nathaniel Hackett was the coach. Many people, myself included, are like, man, the Broncos got a really, really good team. They are a quarterback away. Now, we didn't say Russ was the guy. We actually said Russ was the wrong guy, but we said they're a quarterback away. Now, Jerry Jeudy, let's look at his stats. Rookie year, 856 yards. Not terrible. 3 touchdowns, right? Trouble finding the end zone, I guess. Sophomore season, 467 yards, 0 touchdowns. Last season, though, with an historic bad offense, with an historic bad team, historic worst head coach ever, worst coaching staff ever per Sean Payton, he did have 972 yards catching last season. Not that shabby. This year, Sean Payton, new look offense. They're going to run the ball. They're going to pound the ball. They're going to fling the rock. They were looking really good in training camp. I was starting to buy into the Sean Payton. I'm like, now I know why people in in Colorado are hyped about this man. Now I know why the people are saying Sean Payton is that difference maker. I was getting in the hype. So it is an overreaction that Jerry Jeudy is one person that they cannot lose. Guys, everybody in the NFL is replaceable. Whether you want to admit it or not, it is always the next man up. As Jim Irsay said, he actually was spot on. I mean, he used some choice words wrong, like saying if we were to die, the NFL would just move on. Like, that's not true. But if you were to get injured, the NFL would just move on, right? And that's exactly what the Denver Broncos are going to do. It is the next man up. Yes, Jerry Jeudy is going to be a very important part of their offense moving forward. Week 5, week 6, week 7, week 8. Might put up 1,000 yards. Hell, I project him to be a top 15 receiver this season. But push comes to shove, we are kind of overreacting a little bit when we say Jerry Jeudy is the one person that the Denver Broncos cannot lose. The Denver Broncos are a lot of misfit toys right now, trying to find out the hierarchy, right? Buzz Lightyear just came in, and Woody is trying to struggle power a little bit. That's exactly what the Denver Broncos did. Sean Payton just came in, and players are trying to find their hierarchy. Where do they stand? Now, Jerry Jeudy is a very good talent. I'm not going to take that away from him. The Denver Broncos would definitely be better with him on the field, but they can afford to lose him for a couple weeks. They'll be okay. They're not going to be a great team anyways, right? They will be okay. So just simmer down now. Simmer down now, you hear? Slow it down, baby. We talked about the taking Arizona Cardinals. We talked about Jerry Jeudy injury. But now let's talk about a quarterback that seemingly has kind of had the short end of the stick his whole NFL career. This quarterback has all the potential in the world. Comes from a small FCS school, Division II. For the people that don't know, I still think it's stupid how they renamed it, but I digress. He's had the opportunity, or he had the potential to be Super Bowl champion, but he just cannot stay healthy. This quarterback has played in 8 total games in his 3 years in the NFL with only 6 starts. Last season, he was projected to be the guy. We are talking about Trey Lance here, guys, if you guys have not caught the drift yet. Last season, 2022, Trey Lance was the guy. But is it an overreaction that the 49ers must trade Trey Lance? They have to get Trey Lance out of town. When we think about this, guys, there is a new third-string quarterback rule in place because of the San Francisco 49ers. They literally went through 4 quarterbacks in that NFC Championship game versus the Eagles. 4. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 quarterbacks they went through. Deebo Samuel was getting ready to play emergency quarterback. We're like, was it Chris McCaffrey? But overreaction, the 49ers must trade Trey Lance. Let's talk about Trey Lance, guys. Trey Lance has not gotten a fair shake in the NFL. Is it the 49ers' fault? Maybe. But it is just his health. He has not had an opportunity to really stay on the field. Every time he plays a couple games, he breaks his leg. Or he does it. He just cannot stay healthy. But let's flash back to Trey Lance. Let's flash back to 2022 NFL season. You had Jimmy G on the roster. They put him in a corner saying, hey, we're trading you, man. Get off our field. Go over there and play catch with yourself. They had Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, on the roster. They had Trey Lance on the roster. Open quarterback competition. Trey Lance outperformed Brock Purdy in camp. Trey Lance was the guy. Brock Purdy was the third-string quarterback. Now, he did play okay in Chicago. The next game was versus the Rams. Played 3 snaps and broke his leg. Insert Jimmy G. And then now all of a sudden, Trey Lance is just like chopped liver. What has changed from 2022 Trey Lance to 2023 Trey Lance? He outperformed Brock Purdy and Jimmy G allegedly in camp last season. He outperformed both of them. He was your guy. He was your starter. You were going to ride or die with that guy. He got hurt. Jimmy G got hurt. Insert Brock Purdy. Yes, he did win, 7 games in a row. Quote, led you to the NFC Championship game. Yes, I get that. But at the same time, you had a guy in Trey Lance that you moved up to draft. You had a quarterback that was your starter last season by all indications saying better than Jimmy G, better than Brock Purdy, better than Kyle Allen, right? Better than everybody on the roster. Trey Lance was your guy. Breaks his leg and then now all of a sudden you want him out of town? Guys, this is an extreme overreaction if you guys think the San Francisco 49ers have to trade Trey Lance. Trey Lance has been nothing but a professional for the San Francisco 49ers. He has understood his role. He has never demanded a trade. He has never demanded to start. He comes in, he works his butt off, and then he just had the short end of the stick. Things just haven't really fell his way, and is it his fault? Possibly. I mean, I don't know. But no, the 49ers do not have to trade Trey Lance. They don't have to. I mean, obviously, if they could get a first, second-round pick out of him, awesome. But they don't have to trade him. So 49er fans, pump the brakes. They don't have to trade your boy. They don't want to trade your boy. But if they do, I mean, it's going to be for a good price. Second-round pick, first-round pick, something. So slow it down, baby. Slow it down. Slow it down. Slow it down. Speaking of slowing it down, every time we try to slow it down, the New York Football Giants just seem to get better and better and better each and every day. We try to write them off, and they add this piece. They add this piece. Nobody's talking about the New York Football Giants right now because of the Eagles, because of the Cowboys, because of the Bucks, because of the 49ers, the Seahawks. Giants have been kind of overlooked all offseason. They've been kind of like that redheaded stepshot off in the corner. Like, yeah, we'll talk about you, at some point. You do you over there, kid. But quietly, guys, which is how greatness is made. You work in silence and then you explode, right? You're an overnight success. Very loose air quotes there. But during the fire sale of the Arizona Cardinals yesterday, the New York Football Giants added a very, very good piece to their defensive side of the ball. They got Isaiah Simmons and a 7th-round draft pick for a 5th-round draft pick. They added depth to the linebacker, which is probably one of their weakest spots on the defense this season, right? So, guys, isn't it an overreaction that the Giants are now the 2nd best team in the NFC East? Like I said, guys, the Giants have been quietly adding a lot of pieces. The Giants have been quietly getting really, really good. Added Darren Waller. Added Tyrod Taylor. They have Slayton still. They have Paris Campbell from the Indianapolis Colts. They have Hodgins from the Buffalo Bills. They added Isaiah Simmons. Oh, by the way, they have the best defensive end in the game in Thibodeau. Guys, it would not shock me one bit at all. Not one bit if the New York Football Giants are the best team in the NFC East. It would not shock me one bit if they win 11, 12 games this season. It would not shock me one bit if they sweep the entire division. The Giants have gotten really, really good, really, really fast in a very quiet manner. Adding Isaiah Simmons may have just peaked that iceberg. May have started to flow in the iceberg just like a little bit, and now eyes are kind of like, oh. Y'all see that over there? The Giants are good. Yes, they still got Danny Dimes, whatever. You say what you want about Danny Dimes. He is a great game manager. D-Ball is a great coach for Danny Dimes. Nickel and dime it down the field, run that rock. Saquon Barkley is on the roster, $11 million man himself. Let him tote the rock. You got Isaiah Simmons. You got Slayton. You got Hodges. You got Paris Campbell. You got Darren Waller. Guys, quietly, the Giants have become really, really, really good. So is it an overreaction that they are the second best team in the NFC East? It is not an overreaction. It is not an overreaction at all. The Commanders are probably going to be a 7-9 team. They could have Patrick Mahomes, Eric Bieniemy, Tyreek Hill, whoever they want. For whatever reason, the Commanders are destined to be a 7-9 team. It is what it is. The Dallas Cowboys are probably a 10-win team. The Eagles are a team that I am still up in the air about. I want to buy into the Super Bowl hangover, but then looking at this, I'm like, man, they got a pretty easy-ass schedule. The Giants have a fairly favorable schedule. The Giants are a team that can make some noise. The Giants are a team that can be the best team in the NFC East. There has not been a repeat winner in the NFC East for like 20 plus years, right? If we want to go off history, Eagles are out. Want to go off history, Dallas Cowboys are an 11-win team. Want to go off history, the Commanders are a 7-win team. If the New York Football Giants can get 11, 12 wins this season, which I think they could with this roster, they are not the second best team in the NFC East. They are the best team in the NFC East. They are division winners. They are home playoff hosting team, New York Football Giants. Guys, jump on this New York Giants bandwagon right now. Let me repeat that again for the people in the back. Jump on the New York Giants bandwagon right now. They are going to be good. They are going to make some noise in the NFC East. They are going to the playoffs. They are. They are. Speaking of going to the playoffs, going to be good, let's look at Deshaun Watson. Let's look at the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson, once ago, long time in a faraway land of Houston, Texas, I should say. Deshaun Watson was arguably a top 10, if not a top 5 quarterback in the league. His rookie season, played like half the year, if like 3 games, I think it was. 1,700 yards, 19 touchdowns. Year 2, 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns. Year 3, 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns. Year 4, 4,800 yard touchdown, or 4,800 yards, 33 touchdowns. He was the man. He was the myth, the legend himself. Deshaun Watson was leading the Texans to the promised land. And for whatever reason, something happened, GM, ownership, there was a turmoil. There was a disagreement, and they went their separate ways. We're not going to go on why they went their separate ways, but then he ended up in Cleveland and sat out a season for the whole dispute. And then last season, he played, from week 12 on, he threw for 1,100 yards for 7 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. Now, Deshaun Watson has said, yes, I am not a top 10 quarterback right now. I understand that. And I have to prove myself again. Like, I get that. So guys, is it an overreaction that Deshaun Watson will be a top 10 quarterback again in the NFL? When we look at the quarterback landscape in the NFL right now, it is very, very competitive. Now, obviously, you got your front runners up there. You have your Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. You can throw Aaron Rodgers up there like if you want to. You can throw Lamar Jackson up there, Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, right? But then we have some up-and-coming quarterbacks, right? You have your Kenny Pickett. You could throw Brock Purdy up there. Geno Smith, if he performed like he did last year, he'll be a top quarterback in the league. Kirk Cousins, we always forget about Kirk Cousins. The quarterbacks in the NFL right now are very, very, very good. You can throw almost anybody that you want from 7 through 12, and I don't think anybody can legitimately have an argument like, oh, no, that person doesn't belong. Well, why don't they belong, right? I mean, I can tell you why they do belong, but you can tell me why they don't belong. You're like, I don't know. So is it an overreaction that Deshaun Watson can be a top 10 quarterback again? No. Obviously, the talent is there. 3 seasons in a row, 4,000-plus yards, 26 touchdowns, 33 touchdowns with the not-so-good Houston Texans team. You put him in a good situation in Cleveland. How does that sound coming out like out of the mouth? A good situation in Cleveland? But whatever, we digress from that. He has a good core around him. They have stability in Cleveland. They have a good running game. They have a good passing game. Deshaun Watson doesn't have to literally carry the team to the playoffs like he did in Houston. Now, Deshaun Watson will be a top 10 quarterback again. That is not an overreaction. I think he will work off that rust. I think he will have another 4,000-yard passing season. I think he will be very, very effective. But with that being said, since he doesn't have to carry the team like he did in Houston, since he doesn't have to rush all over the field, since he doesn't have to do this, and this, he can just be a quarterback. The stats are going to be down a little bit and be like, oh, what's wrong with Deshaun Watson? He's not rushing for 1,200 yards and throwing for 4,000 yards anymore. Well, he doesn't have to. Deshaun Watson is a pocket quarterback. Deshaun Watson is perfectly happy saying hi, taking 2 steps and throwing it to Amari Cooper. Perfectly happy doing that. He doesn't have to run around and with his head cut off. So I do think at some point this season we will be talking about Deshaun Watson as a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. That is not an overreaction, guys. I think he will have a really, really good year. Really, really good year. Speaking of good years, the Manhowers had some pretty good years. We've been throwing through those 10 years, having some good times, and all NFL offseason, I have been talking up the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield and those boys. I've been talking up about the Carolina Panthers, saying, jump on that bandwagon right now. But I've been called out. I have been called out by people in the chat on the clips saying that I love me some Baker Mayfield. I think the Carolina Panthers are going to be good. I think they're going to do this, right? I have been called out saying, Buck, stop waffling around. Put your money where your mouth is, man. They say, pick a team. Is it going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Carolina Panthers? Who is it going to be? Stop waffling around it. Now, I do like what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have done this offseason. I like a healthy offensive lineman. I like their defense. I like Mike Evans. I like Chris Godwin. Now, when Gage is down, that puts a huge hole there, right? Especially since Scotty Miller is no going there. He's with the Falcons. The biggest hole of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now is their running game. Can they go from worst to 20th? Can they be a top 15 rushing team? If they can do that, then they'll definitely be a top of the division. Carolina Panthers, guys, I've been buying the hype. I liking what they're doing. I like what they did late last season after the trade of CMC. They got better. We're like, what in the world is going on? Added some depth. Add a little bit of Adam Thielen. The Panthers are going to be good as well. So for you guys telling me to put my money where my mouth is, pick a team, stop waffling around, I got to go with the Carolina Panthers. I think the Carolina Panthers are the real deal in the NFC South. I think they're better than the Falcons. I think they're better than the Saints. I think they're better than the Bucs. Give me some Carolina Panthers. I am putting money on it. I'm putting the money where my mouth is. Now, don't get it twisted. Just because I think the Carolina Panthers will do better than Tampa Bay Buccaneers doesn't mean the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won't be good this season. It doesn't mean that. So slow it down. But since you guys are calling me out, I'm putting the money where the mouth is. Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers, yo. Well, hey, I definitely appreciate you guys calling me out. Making me force a decision here. Making me say, hey, pick. Stop waffling around. Right? I always call Hoffy out for waffling and Wyatt and Combs. Like, stop waffling. Give me an answer. You guys made me put the money where the mouth is. All right, guys, we are getting toward the end of the show here, and we got some weekend outlook. What are we looking for this weekend? So, obviously, guys, the NFL has to cut down from 94 players on the active roster right now down to 53. So, literally got to cut down half of the roster. So, there are going to be a lot of head-scratching cuts like, hey, like, what's going on, right? Last night, we saw the Philadelphia Eagles and Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota played one series and didn't look very good. All offseason, Marcus Mariota has not looked very good for the Philadelphia Eagles. We all thought, well, not we all, but they all thought that Marcus Mariota would be a great fit because the athletic ability kind of mirrors Jalen Hurts perfectly. But Tanner McKee has definitely wowed a little bit of Eagles coaches this off season. 6'6" guy, Stanford guy, very, very good, very, very talented quarterback that they have there. So, guys, you have to look out for that. Will Marcus Mariota be cut, or will Tanner McKee be cut from the Philadelphia Eagles? That is a good watch out for this weekend. Something else to watch out for this weekend is the Buffalo Bills quarterback battle. That's right. You have it between Matt Barkley and Kyle Allen. Who is going to be quarterback number 2 in Buffalo? That is a game to intrigue. That is a game to watch out there, the Buffalo Bills game. Also, something to watch out for this weekend, the New York the New York Jets. Not only are they playing their starters, Aaron Rodgers getting his first start as a New York Jet, but we need to look at that running back battle. Now that they have added Dalvin Cook to the roster, paying him like $11, $12 million, whatever it is, right? That means somebody is going to gotta go. Somebody has got to be cut. Who is going to be the running back room in the New York Jets? That is something to look out for also. Something to look out for as well is the Cleveland Browns receiver Anthony Schwartz. Once dubbed as the fastest man in college football, has not had a very good NFL career. This man just isn't catching on to the NFL very, very well. Let's see if he gets on a roster. See if he can make the Browns, because Deshaun Watson needs that fast, shifty guy. I don't know. It is what it is. That is it for the Man Hour, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Tune in tonight, 10 p.m. East Coast time. Coffee will be on. I'll be on. Might have some special guests. It's opened up to anybody that wants to come up there and talk their shit. Come on over. Right here, whatever platform you're listening to us on, 10 p.m. East Coast time. Post a link. You guys can join us. See you in 11 hours. Have a good day. We out.